My name is John Ralston Saul. I'm a writer. I was president of International PEN, which is the and the only human rights freedom of expression organization led by writers. So I traveled 70% of the time to difficult countries run by basically dictators, unpleasant people. I've always written, I think I've written about 15 books. I started as a novelist, 4 or 5 novels, and there were great successes. And then I started writing political philosophy. We have an island on Georgian Bay, a very, very off-the-grid place. I think what I sensed was that I was getting weaker. And one of my things was always to either swim around the island, it's sort of 2 acres. And I remember a day when I got back and I was so exhausted. And I went inside and I lay down and fell asleep for a couple of hours. I guess that's when I knew something was really wrong, because that had never happened to me before. So when I'm not well, I go straight to the doctor. They did some tests, and then I was sent to an expert at the General. I think he must have been the one who diagnosed MDS.
So MDS, it's a rare cancer. It's a blood cancer disorder.
Here's what happens. Inside your bones is a factory called bone marrow that produces all our blood cells, which help protect us and keep our bodies running. There are red cells that carry oxygen, white cells to fight infection, and platelet cells to help blood clot. When MDS strikes our bone marrow, this factory begins producing defective blood cells. When the disease becomes more aggressive, a stem cell transplant from a donor may be the only treatment that can potentially cure it. However, finding a matching donor can be difficult. Without a transplant, the disease may worsen into a more serious form of blood cancer called acute leukemia.
We got to know a bit about what MDS was, and it wasn't leukemia. Could turn into leukemia.
It was tried with these hormonal therapies to stimulate the production of red blood cells. It didn't work. And then he was started on some additional therapies. They can't cure the disease, but those medications can control the disease and the production of these abnormal cells.
Well, the astonishing thing is that really none of these drugs had any effect on me. One of them, I'm sorry, I don't remember the name, worked for about 6 weeks.
He's more fatigued, his spleen is enlarged, he's got quite significant weight loss, and his quality of life is poor.
But I don't remember feeling fear, and nobody said, John, it's over.
If patients are not cured with a transplant, they will die of this disease.
At a certain point, I met with the transplant people.
In John's case, we will wipe out their own immune system, leaving them like an open net to infections.
There's 2 possibilities here. Either I take these risks and it might go wrong, or I don't take these risks and I die. So I'd rather take the risks.
In John's case in particular, he was lucky in the perspective that he did have an indication he was eligible and he did have a great donor to go with.
I came in, I think I was there about a week. They put me on heavy chemo. It wasn't painful. It was intense. And then there was a moment when they just put a thing in my arm and poured this other guy into me. And 2 hours after the transplant, I started writing a novel.
Amazing.
I had wonderful conversations every day with the doctors who came by, the nurses, but also all the staff who came in. They were cleaning the room, or bringing this and bringing that. And, just a wonderful, wonderful group of people. There's a whole atmosphere in that hospital, and is one of the greatest cancer hospitals in North America.
They have literally normal lives afterwards. It makes everything worth it.
There are so many different members of this team doing different things, and I'm proud of that care that we deliver.
I'm so supported by my patients and my job, and it's so fulfilling that I travel like over 100 kilometers back and forth to work at UHN.
Here's a place where everybody's focused on life, not death, focused on life. They saved my life. You know, you say thank you. You know, this is so simple. I'm alive. Without them, I'd be dead.